And we are live with the People's Podcast.
Street Premiere Media Production. He has a 4K camera and a drone. He does television and film editing. Please reach out if you need any of that. Sister Naima, Stay On Point Dance Academy. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country. Sister Miriam, ABC I Love Me children's book and coloring book. My father's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ. My two books, Cleopatra, which is a children's book, and No Father, No Excuse, both of which are available on Amazon.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and welcome to this very special edition of the People's Podcast. I'm Dr. Iman Ali. It's been 25 years since Student Minister Aziz from the west side of the city of Chicago, from Gary, Indiana, from Indianapolis, you all know him best, as Mr. Go-Ahead leader himself. It's been 25 years since he led a security team that held down Damon Dash, Jay-Z, Ja Rule, DMX in a 54-city Hard Knock Life tour. Without incident, by the way. The two would meet again in Chicago just 4 weeks ago when a mutual comrade called them both in to help bring awareness about the inhumane conditions that young Black men were living under in a prison on Chicago's west side. Damon Dash, Student Minister Aziz, and Fred Hampton Jr. all stood in defense of our brothers to bring awareness. And since conditions are changing for those young brothers, so we thank them for that. From that meeting, Student Minister Aziz led a drive along with myself to bring Damon Dash and his wife Raquel Horn into the Golden Isles area to promote STEM education to the children here. Brunswick, Jekyll Island, St. Simon, and Sea Island all include what is considered the Golden Isles. This area, as you all know, my work here has been on a spiritual cleanse and spiritual healing here for our ancestral energy, as this is the heart of the transatlantic slave trade. These corridor islands served as the ports that brought our people across those waters of the Atlantic Ocean. So, as a result of course, my long history of hip hop and social cause and hip hop and financial literacy, launching the first financial literacy tour along with Russell and Dr. Ben Chavis, we organized a conversation from Jekyll Island, from the Federal Reserve Room with Damon Dash. You don't want to miss this very special edition of the People's Podcast. People's Podcast captured it all. If you want more information about the Hip Hop Hood Help Ministries, which is founded by Student Minister Aziz and is the umbrella in which we did all of this, please go to his new IG at Minister James Aziz. At Minister James Aziz for more information on Hip Hop Hood Help and other programming coming out of that organization. And of course, you can always follow me at Dr. Iman Muhammad Ali. Thank you so much.
Ron Bird, and they called in the special forces of the FOI. And this brother led that team that secured these brothers during that time at the height of their careers for 52 cities straight, and without an incident in any of those cities. So his name is Brother Minister James Aziz. He'll be helping narrate tonight. And then we have from the People's Podcast. This brother, I noticed that he was very small and he has a heart of a giant. And he's created an online platform that really does have the people's hearts and ears. Because I went on there for 3 consecutive times, and I'm telling you, now I have people calling me from London and Paris and throughout the Caribbean. That's how far his reach is. And so he'll be narrating with us tonight as well. So we're going to open up the conversation. Brother Josh, I'm going to pass it over to you.
Yes, well, first of all, let's give yourself a warm round of applause for being here. I'm honored to be on the panel, or the host of the panel with these great giants. I'm humbled and man, the People's Podcast has made it all here. So thank you for the invite, Dr. Molly. Thank you for the Z's, Mr. Z's, and to Dame Dash and family.
Yes.
I'm from Naperville, that's the suburbs outside of Chicago, and most people think that hip hop is just like an inner city thing. But I'm telling y'all,
That's right.
the suburbs, I'm telling y'all, nobody can hold rock, like, where's my Rockefeller? What y'all mean? Ain't you came from Volume 1, Volume 2, from Yale, or whatever. His reach, he inspired me all the way. I mean, I'm humble to meet you, sir, and I'm humble. And the high school Joshua Leonard Muhammad is saluting me right now because I follow my dreams and I'm here with Dame Dash, man, you know what I'm saying? So that means everything to me. We want to get started. First of all, I want to ask you, sir, we'll start with Dame Dash, sir. True wealth. What does that mean to you, sir?
So, true wealth is love, health, and happiness. You know, I feel like we let people present their version of what the American dream is. That's right. And, it's not our American dream.
That's right.
So, we've never, I think as a culture, have valued anything man-made so much unless that's been put in front of us, and that's what we've been told to follow. But, for me, it's having a family, a healthy family, making people's dreams that I care about, making their dreams come true. And for me to actually achieve that, it's nothing that I let come to me. It's something that I have to visualize, architect, write down, schedule out. See, I think the problem with us as a culture is we don't sit and talk for hours. We don't plot. So, as you see, and this is, I'm looking at this because I'm like, did they get this for me? Meaning like, you put yourself in a place that inspires you.
Right.
Water, mountains, you surround yourself with good food and good people and good music, and then you just dream. Some people have evil dreams of control. We have love dreams of freedom. So wealth is never being told what to do, never having to do anything for money, actually making money or something you can do for free. Because that's what you have to figure out. I don't think we were tricked into believing we're supposed to work so hard. And work so hard for other people. We were tricked into believing that we're supposed to work hard for things that we don't own. The Rockefellers are the one that said we need more workers. So that's the education that was implemented. It's not even a black thing, it's a social class thing.
Yes, sir.
From what I see, white people be mad at broke white people and black people.
Wow.
So my idea of wealth, is just being healthy, again, love, and the people around you being happy. If you ain't laughing, your life sucks.
That's right.
And I'm not going to not enjoy myself to make money.
Right.
So that I can be a slave to something that these cornballs put together. Because they're not cooler than me, you know what I'm saying? So I looked in the crib, I'm like, look at all this red carpet. I would have had a way better crib. I'm sure the food they eat is not better than the food I eat, or the music they listen to, or the jokes they laugh at, or the people they're around. They can't dance, can't beat me and fight me. You know what I mean? So what I find is weak people trick smart people into believing they're weak so that they can control it.
Wow.
So they just establish something that's unattainable and they act like they got it and that we could never get it and we need them to get it, but we don't even want it.
Right.
We just have to visualize what we want and that becomes our wealth. Wealth is your dream.
Okay, yes, sir, and thank you all. Thank you, sir, for that great response. I want to go to you, Dr. Molly, now for all of your work, your traveling, work with, Michael Jackson. Y'all gotta watch people's podcasts. You have to see some of the great stuff that she accomplished. But I wanted to ask you, how important is true wealth to us as a people?
It's like Dave said, it's really a matter of life and death. When the scripture talks about the raising of the dead to life. It's not talking about a physical death. It's talking about a mental death, a mental and a spiritual death. And so what good is it to really have physical life, but you're walking around dead, no thoughts, no dreams, no aspirations, nothing, but just existing and fulfilling the idea of some other men and women who created something that you have to fulfill in your day-to-day life. You're waking up, you're waiting for the weekend, okay? Or you're inside of a weekday, right? So it's weakening you. Every day you get up and go to work for somebody else and do a job that you don't want to do. And so your family, you're robbing your family, you're robbing yourself, because you know that 90% of all disease comes from stress.
Teach.
90% of all disease comes from stress. That's a mental stress, that's an emotional stress, and it's really the spell that they casted from this island over the whole world, right? To be underneath that if you don't feel you have enough, now you're worried, you can't sleep at night. Because you got a bill and somebody might knock on your door and tell you got to get out of your house that you're renting. Right? That's hell. Okay? So we as a people collectively, like he said, they're not cooler than me, they're not, what? Nothing. Better than you. So the same mind, we're talking about minds that put this in place here, and families that put this in place where we're at. And what we're talking about tonight, we're changing the narrative. We are the fulfillment of the prophecy. It's the reason why everybody in this room is in here tonight, having this conversation. Something about you, that you would be in the room. One of the things at first, Russell Simmons was considered him my mentor, how I got into the entertainment business. But I only wanted to work with the artists for this, with social cause. I only wanted to be with them for what they could do for our community and show them how they could give back to those communities that they came from and lift somebody else up, right? So one of the things Russell said that I heard, he said your net worth equals your net worth. So if you're in the room with a Dame Dash, who are you?
Come on now, come on.
Okay. So how important is it, the mental wealth, the ability to think? Like he said, we don't sit around and talk and dream. The ability to think. You know that thought is substance? They say faith is substance, the substance of things hoped for. What is that substance? It's your thought, it's your vibration, it's your electrical frequency that you're sending out. Every day you're sending out a signal at all times. What you think is electrical pulses, your thoughts, is frequency, and what you feel is magnetic. So together, it creates that electromagnetic frequency. And you are like a cell phone tower sending the signal. And what you're receiving back, it's not happening to you, it's happening because of you. So if you don't like something, just check yourself. Raise your vibration up.
Come on now.
Raise your thought up. Raise your feeling up about who you are and what you can be. And these brothers prove that it can happen. From projects, okay? I don't care where you come from. Hip hop proved that a rose can grow from concrete.
Okay, and thank you all for watching, and thank you for your question, your answer. I wanted to ask you, Brother Dame Dash, a lot of people who become successful and reach the heights that you reach aren't always giving back and trying to look for another person to sign another person. But what is it about you? What is the importance of you to say, I'm going to sign this person, I'm going to help Lee Daniels get in the game, I'm going to help Kevin Hart, I'm going to help. What is it about your heart that makes you always want to look and give back to somebody else, open the door for somebody else?
Because I could. Most of those people that got there had to sell or be compromised. They don't have any control. They actually can't help other than telling someone to maybe compromise some morals and integrity to get to the next level. But what I found, based on my personal experience, when your fame or wealth comes from the devil's money, you work for the devil. And we don't own nothing. So whoever gets to that place where everyone sees you, and when another culture is tapping you on the shoulder too much, that's problematic for me. That means you're doing too much for them and not enough for us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When another culture celebrates you too much, that's because you're not celebrating your culture.
Teach.
So those are the ones that get embraced publicly. Like, yo, if you fall, we could, be in this house and even clean it, but you gotta leave when I say so. So even now, to me, information is important, and the visuals that we see control a lot of what we do. And I'm trying to acquire a footprint in media, because BT is not owned by anybody black. Neither is Aspire, neither is Bounce, and neither is Revolt. None of them. If you're the face of the money that buys it, and you might have 20%, but the other 80 is owned by the people that aren't from the culture, and they are the true owners of it, that company is now black-faced, not black-owned. And that's what's happening. Everything we think and what we say we own is black-faced. 80% of the money is always theirs, and they're the ones that control what we see. So if you look at certain networks, what do they show us? Drinking,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
gossip, and drug dealing, and rap. And not that rap's a problem, but it's not the only way we can make money.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it was important for me that all these fake, they're supposed to be black companies, and they're putting visuals in front of us the way they want us to act. We can't even get anybody elected. We don't have a CNN. We don't have anything. There's no network called White People Entertainment. And music, there's black music and there's music. There's no white music division.
Right.
It's just, it's really clear and it's in front of us, so it's not for me to complain, it's for me to go buy one of them.
Yes, sir.
And the reason why, we could create our own, but it's that footprint. I already need the audience. For some reason, Comcast and them won't give me the distribution because they know the visuals I'm gonna put in front of us are those that help the trajectory of our culture. Right. So I'm gonna make a movie about, the last movie I made is about a black family in healthcare that made their money from government contracts. Because that's the way the Rockefellers made their money.
Yes, sir.
And that's the way Elon Musk makes his money. And that's the way Amazon makes his money. It's so much carved out for us for the guilt of what the government has done to us. But they just make sure we don't know. So 20% of all manufacturing in the country should be done by a black manufacturer. How many black people own a factory? 20% of all ads are supposed to go to a black-owned network. But who owns a black network but Byron Allen, a weatherman? He ain't passing no plugs. I appreciate him and all that, but he ain't giving up no data. And then in the digital world, they're keeping us blind on even how we get paid. So, podcasts, you know how you get paid, right? CPMs. See, you don't know. What I'm saying is, it's not your fault. I'm just paying attention because I'm trying to be the boss. I'm trying to be the landlord. So whatever they doing, I got to be doing it better. If you Pablo and you growing, and I'm Pablo, I'm growing. If you can do what I can do. So in trying to have my own, in having my own media, yeah, you get paid by CPMs. That means clicks per million, but it really means clicks per thousand. When your content plays and YouTube plays an ad, they're getting $23, $33 of your CPM, only paying you $3 with no accounting. That's happening.
Yeah.
And then, any time that you're in any world digitally, whether it's a streaming service or social media, your behavior patterns are being monitored. That's called data. And they take that data and they give it to the people that are doing ads, but we don't benefit from our own data. We don't know about our own data. We don't know about data. We don't know CPMs. We don't know that language. That's just in the future. So knowing what they did in the past, money is old. There's no gold behind the dollar. We all know that.
Right.
And they're starting to track it digitally, so we can't hide it. So you got to be kind of savvy about Web3 as well. You got to be savvy about space travel. When I think of a business and the freedom that I need to have is being smarter than them first.
Yes, sir.
Because when there's new things that happen, a lawyer's not going to know the rules because there are no rules. A teacher's not going to know how to teach it because it was never taught to them. So right now, that's why they're knocking them dead. They're robbing everybody. So if I talk to a congressman or a senator, and that's another thing, we can't make no change unless we can pass a law.
Yes, sir.
And that doesn't get taught to us. So that's what they do. They sit here like, all right, we just passed this law. They can't do that. They don't even know how to pass another one. Let's not teach it to them in school. God forbid they want to make real change. But that's what I'm teaching. So this is what we're doing. We're taking matters into our own hands. We're making our own curriculums. That's why we're making our own books and going into the schools where there and places where there's black government officials, black principals, and they're gonna let us in the door.
That's right.
And they do. We're giving them curriculum with our language and in our love language. They ain't talking to us in a way that makes us comfortable. They're trying to trigger us and make us uncomfortable.
Yes, sir.
They're trying to make us not pay attention. They're not telling us stuff we need. In school, you only, from what I understand, you can only retain 45 minutes of an 8-hour day, kid, anyway. So the way you present school to a kid should be different, especially being that the way in the education and curriculum that was put and established to us was established by Thomas Jefferson. And that was for a black man to learn how to listen to a white man. And for a white man to learn how to tell a black man what to do. That curriculum is still implemented till this day. But we could be mad about it, but if we don't have another curriculum to combat it, what are we talking about? So that's what we did. We're teaching these kids how to dream, think about space through books and music. And not through musicians that, only make it in kids' world. These are musicians that are like black belts. They have adult albums.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So they're speaking it in a language that play 7 instruments. They're all ridiculous. And then also, like I said, the movies I make, that's curriculum.
Yes,
It all comes with okay, the person that made the buttons on this watch is a millionaire. Didn't have to sell drugs, didn't have to be an athlete, or didn't have to do music. Anything done at a professional level, you could be a millionaire. So you just got to teach how. So we have curriculum at every level. And we actually go and teach it at every level. The last time I saw him was 2 weeks ago because I went into a school that's in a jail for a principal, and it was appalling. The recidivism rate is 99%. These kids don't have no outdoor space. They all have 3rd grade reading scores, white women giving them therapy, and they're drugging them up. It's called the CUT program to get them out. And they're living in mold. So what I was able to do was leverage my celebrity from hip hop, go over there, bring awareness. They're gonna make sure I was alright. But they wouldn't even let us, because we went to the jail 3 times. I went over there with the senator. They didn't let us up. They locked us in there for a couple of seconds just so we would know. And it got me out of there quick. Me and my girl while we had the baby in the car. He was there. He was in there locked with us. But what happened the week after was they ran up in there, they investigated, they fired people, and now they went to Harrisburg prison. So we all making some noise. You know why? And the only news that was there was their paper. And you would think, you would see all this abuse that the news would be there. I expect them not to be there. I do my own news on my own television, on my own platform, with my own people. And I can still get shit done. But I don't really need them. We just need each other. We just need to stick together and understand our power. But we just got to do the research. We got to know how they're getting money. Like, if you pay me, I need to know how you make your money. If you give me $10, you're making $100. I need to be cutting the checks, not you. I need to be working for me. That's how I look at it. I can't see it no other way. I can only pick and boss. I can't think and listen to you. I can only think and listen to me.
Teach.
But with that, you gotta bring that smoke. You gotta be a journal, you gotta come with some walls. So I actually couldn't talk and sit up here just based on an opinion. I'm talking from going into 50 schools direct.
Yes,
And
sir.
going into these jails and getting people elected and Gary and everything else. I have a platform. I'm gonna bring awareness to the people that don't get awareness brought to them that are fighting for it. That's why I'm down with something called the OSG,
Teach.
which is 100 principles from economically challenged places. I'm saying that because they know if I say black, they know what to do. So now you gotta change up your verbiage as
Yes,
well.
sir. Yes, sir.
You can't keep throwing the same punch. You gotta hit them when they have, you gotta just say different things because they already know how to block it. So that's what they took. Don't say black, say economically challenged because everybody.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's thinking in the future how to fight like these cycles. They've been going on for hundreds of years, and we fighting wrong.
Yes, sir.
We know about it. We know how to complain. They know how to listen to us complain, but we don't bring no answers. We got to bring that smoke. So what I bring is a solution, and I'm coming up in there with cameras. And the public opinion is way more powerful than you could even imagine. But with digital and algorithms and behavior patterns, if you do something and say something enough and all of us do it at one time, it becomes an algorithm. That's why I'm on a lot of people's feet with that positive talk, because I'm going to keep talking until
That's
it
right.
becomes
That's
an
right.
algorithm.
That's right.
So please, knowing the problem, what was the question? I just thought.
You answered Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we got so many questions, and it's great. Thank you all, and thank you, Dr. Miley. I wanted to ask you, what was it about all of the celebrities and influential people that you knew that it was time to bring our brother, our big brother, Mr. and brother, Damon Dash, now to this event? What was it that struck a chord with you?
Well, everything that I do is always from a spiritual standpoint. From working with Russell Simmons, I was working as a news producer in television, and I was like, I hated it, but I fought so hard to get in to work for CBS, but I hated it once I got in there because I saw what it was doing to my mind, to write negative news every day. It was doing to my spirit. So my spirit spoke to me, and I saw something on the AP wire that said Russell Simmons, and then my spirit said, "Oh, you're supposed to work with him." But I'm so maybe they would say crazy enough to believe that inner voice that I hear. So I move out on what I hear when I hear it, because I know that's God speaking to me. That's the God within me speaking. So every artist that I've ever worked with has always been a spiritual experience prior to. And I've been watching James and watching his language and the frequency that he's on. And that struck me, of course. But then it was when I saw him boots on the ground in Chicago, okay? Because I'm from the Chi. So I know what it is, what it's like growing up on, all of the areas. They call that area, I was in K-Town for killer. Navigating the west side of Chicago as a 7-year-old girl, navigating that. But when I saw him with boots on the ground, and I encouraged Mr. Aziz that he needed to go and be there when he got the call from the brother that's over that prison, really, is part of that system, Mr. McGrone. I said, you gotta be there. And to see that Dave was on the ground and that he was in Gary, Indiana, well, that was a signal to me, okay? That was evidence to me that brother was real about, he was about that life. He wasn't just talking on Instagram about what he's not doing in his real life. So for that, we've always been on really, really here in the communities. When Ahmaud Arbery, when it went down with him, we were there. Dana, we thank you for all that you've done for the Arbery family, for opening that door. We are spiritual people. And we just don't pay attention. We don't get enough silence. You know, the whole game is to distract us. Okay, so we don't get enough silence and time to ourselves through meditation, through prayer, to be able to hear from God. Okay, on what moves to make and who to connect with. You know, so this is just the divine energy that's always been, but it's always been, when I saw that I was here with Minister Aziz invited me down here, because he's a very spiritual brother. So when he sees ahead of time, and in fact, he's the brother who Snoop called after Biggie was killed, because Snoop's life was on the line. Yeah, he was the last man standing. I think was it Rolling Stone? That said, that had Snoop on the cover. Five magazine.
Yeah, they set him up. They set him up.
Yeah, last man standing. He made a phone call to Minister J.I.Z. And he made a call to Minister Farrakhan. And that call and that meeting that those brothers, Snoop and his brother, and the minister, helped to stop the feuding between the East Coast and the West Coast and stop that bloodshed. Okay? I was in Chicago working for the Final Call newspaper. I was a journalist. And it looked like all the Black Hollywood had emerged on the south side of Chicago. Everybody that I knew, from Heavy D to Ice Cube, everybody was in that room. And that was a signal that the minister gave each brother a mustard seed. And he said, you all have a responsibility. Even though there's a hidden hand here that's part of the destruction of our people, you all have a responsibility as the artists to take back your power in what you say out of your mouth on these mics. Okay? So in other words, you all had a role in creating an atmosphere that killed Pac and Biggie. And then Russell Simmons and Dr. Ben Chavis, they institutionalized what Minister Farrakhan said, and they created the Hip Hop Summit Action Network. And then I came along and I saw that, I said, okay, I gotta make the minister's word bond. And I went to work and raised $3.5 million to launch the first financial literacy tour for Black people called Get Your Money Right.
That's right.
And here we are today. I'm up here now with our own hip hop hood help ministries foundation. We learned that from Russell. Russell taught us that, but he got it from him. About non-for-profits and philanthropy and 501c. I was saying I was a philanthropist and didn't have any money to give away. But I had my energy that I was giving and my thought that I was giving back to my community. And that's the same thing we're doing now. And now we're here sitting next to the brothers that I used to just look at from the audience like you are. But we talk about getting your mind, that you get your money right, get your mind, and the money will follow. Okay?
I want to follow up with you, sir. For everybody who's never seen Backstage, you should go watch it. It's a great documentary. Of course, my brother was on post and locking it down. But I used to watch it with my friends for, of course, DMX, the rapper, you know, the rap side of it. But we would always imitate our brothers, Mr. Dame Dash, handling business with how you were talking to Leo Cohen and saying, like, you know, it's Def Jam. And we was like, yo, we felt pride to see you talk to people who know people are scared to mention like that. And to see you all these years later still speaking truth to power when you know that people who do that, the consequence, what makes you, instead of just going home with your family and just chilling, still speak truth to power and stand on the front line, you know, 10 toes down.
Because we all still soul, so is Steve out. All of them are, you know, people that I'm watching act smarter than they are to people that aren't so smart. You know what I mean? And act more powerful than they are to people that might not be so strong. And they're still trying to, you know, I think them trying to, because again, you gotta remember, I was literally offered the keys to that whole situation. I'm talking about the culture, if I sold it out, and I threw it in their face. I mean, like, really. You know what I mean? So it was like, the first day we did the deal with Leo, he was trying to send me to be a doula to help him with one of his situations. Like, yo, we got beef with this guy. I'm like, you know how many problems I got in the street? You helping me? Mr. Man, he told me $600,000 after tax was a lot of money. I'm like, you know, it was always a mental thing with him, you know. And then with Steve Stout, he was a black man that had access to famous black people and say, I can get these famous black people to put their likeness on things like Budweiser and Kentucky Fried Chicken as long as you pay them. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And they still saying my name. And the reason why is because the exact opposite happened when they brought me, because I was never compromised. They never saw, like, they never were able to do nothing on my watch, like rob an artist,
Yes, sir.
or do some other stuff that, you know, was against my manhood, or my heterosexualness.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'd be like, yo, don't break none of that over here. And you're not gonna rob him and blah, 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 and all of that. I would punish them on purpose in front of the people that weren't strong. So I just thought, like, yeah, and Harvey Weinstein too. All of them. All of them. So you're right, everyone was like, oh, you just said something to the master, and I'd be like, who's the master? I'm the master.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I always found them funny, to be honest. I did. But I just didn't know that people that I respected wouldn't find them funny and take them serious. And that was what was disappointing, is watching people I thought were strong just fold. For the devil's dollar. The devil's dollar.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So again, if something's black-faced, then that means they gave up something. And I gotta keep mine.
Yes, sir.
They help my business. But they always try to diffuse anything that I'm doing by saying my name. They give me a reason to get at them, and I'm in the algorithm.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So everyone on your phone, if you go to your app store and download America NU, America New, it's free. We get the full CPM. I'm not just talking it. We get the full data. We broadcast live. Like I know Netflix is watching me. It wasn't broadcasting live until I started. They just keep copying.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's cool, because the thing is, I haven't raised the dollar. I don't want the devil's money. I'd rather grind down and let my love speak for itself. You know, if my work is good, they gonna line up. But that's why you gotta have a respect for the art. You gotta have good taste.
Yes, sir.
In music, in filmmaking, in clothes, in books, in every vertical. You know what I'm saying? It's the only way for us to fight is to be knowledgeable, more knowledgeable than them. And another thing, this thing that in business that us as black people can only sell to black people, that doesn't work. It's problematic. It's not enough black people for every black person to only get the black dollar. They got us only thinking that we can sell shit to each other. Right. Or that black people that only have other black people work for them. It bugs people out when I got white people and people from all over, because I'm trying to take over the world. I can't keep And it's not about the color of the skin for me. It's about the color of your soul. It's about how evolved you are. I'm not going to really judge you for what your grandparents did. If you still have the same values as they did, then I got to get at you. But you're not going to fight with me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? But again, I'm not only trying to sell things to my people. Like in Gary, the plan isn't to bring all the black people ain't coming back. We don't come back. I'm not going back to Oregon, but white people will go anywhere. There's a deal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You make it Williamsburg. We got to be the landlords.
Right.
It's not like we only want our dollar. We want everybody's dollar.
That's right. That's right.
The black dollar only stays in the black neighborhood for 5 minutes, and then it goes out to every place else. But the white dollar stays in every neighborhood.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Forever. So we got to start making sure that we're not just good for our culture. We got to be better than everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But we can also utilize the opportunities that the government has for us. We just have to know what those government contracts like. For like you see any black car manufacturers? You know, when you create a factory like Elon Musk that creates 10,000 jobs, that's currency for a politician. It's how much jobs you create.
Yes, sir.
Right? When you go into a marketplace, the first question I have is how much is the annual income here? If it's under 30 like Gary, we got a lot of work to do. And then you have to figure out how to stimulate the economy around you. For me, I bring an art district, I bring sports, I want workforce housing, I want transitional rehab facilities instead of jail. Like, it's all outsourced. But there's no outsourcing to us because none of us are trying. How many black people you know ever tried to build a jail? I'm gonna try. And I'm gonna do. You know, and it's ARPA dollars, dollar for dollar. You know, so if I'm put some money in, build a factory that's gonna create 200 jobs, they'll put up that same dollar. We just gotta know how to get it. You know what I'm saying? Like in school, you know, everything's outsourced. The high schools, 12 million a year. The economically challenged schools, 5 million a year. It all gets distributed. But why can't it get distributed to us? Because we don't have nothing to do. We gotta have it. You know, there was this issue in Gary where they had on the bill that they didn't want to teach black history because it would trigger white people. And, you know, the senator at the time, the guy mayor, was like, this is crazy. He had to fight that on the floor. So he went down with something also called the commission and talked to the head of the OAB to talk the language. And he was like, but do you have a curriculum? No. So what are they even fighting about? They don't even have a curriculum. They're just scared that they don't know what the curriculum will be. So we got to come with the curriculum. We have to come with the laws we got passed, and we have to come with that. Or else we just complaining.
Yes, sir.
And complaining is whack. I'm not a victim. You know, the people that trigger me, they better look out. It's us first, you know. I just think love. The devil be bluffing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Everything I see is a bluff. People pretend they're happy, they pretend they're rich. Just pretend, front. Pretend that you want to act like them and they're not even happy. Why you want to act like somebody that ain't happy? So we've been capital in thinking unless we do what they say, that we haven't made it, unless we dress like them, dance like them, eat like, that's an elbow to me. You know, we all have our own heaven. Some people like to go to church. I don't really like to sit down and listen to people talk all day because I like to listen to myself. So that might be hell. I mean, you know, if there's no weed in heaven, then I'm not going. And I could be a sin to somebody, you know what I'm saying? You know, we all have a different version of what our perfect is. You're not going to tell me what my perfect is. I'm going to tell you what my perfect is. So we have to identify what makes us happy. And that's all that matters. As long as no one's getting hurt and the people we love are being protected. The bottom line is if I go through some bullshit and my children go through the same thing, then I fail. They better have different problems than me. But if we give them the same problems, then we have one. I'm sorry, I'm done.
It's okay.
I don't want to talk.
Yes, sir.
Can I, because I'm a little thirsty, do I get a drink? Somebody go? I'll give it back. Tito's and orange? Yes. I'm a rock star. See, the other thing is, I'm not the granola guy, because you can't expect a man to be so perfect. I have vices like everyone else, they just don't hurt nobody. But you can't expect someone to ever try to be perfect. Imperfection, perfection doesn't exist. That's the most evil. I got water, anyone?
Tito's and orange?
Please.
Okay.
What is this, water? So I always try to showcase that I'm a man. I drink, I smoke. Not every day, all day. I can push through the fog. If I'm gonna come in here and tell y'all to act perfect, that ain't me. I'm not perfect.
Yes, sir.
And I wouldn't suggest anybody try to be me. It's hard. If you get like the things that like bills, they don't bother me. I don't know why. Because when you become independent, your bills, you know, no matter what, while you're dreaming, and if you're investing every dollar, you're always going to be broke. But you got to pay people. You know, somebody that's independent is proud to be broke. Like, I ain't got it. I didn't pay the full. I'm broke, baby. You remember that? You had money, I'm broke, baby. He was getting money, right? Because he always had to be up.
Yeah.
You know?
It's currency.
It's just, yo, when you have dreams, they got to be funded, and if someone else funds them, they're not yours no more. I can dream big and all the time. And a lot of times, most of the time, almost actually every time, the dreams are realized themselves. You know, you gotta remember Rockefeller, I was doing that when I was in my, like literally, I retired at 35.
Yes,
I was
sir.
21, 22 doing all that. Like that thing that happened at Def Jam, I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
I was young in Leo in my 20s. I've been young since I was a kid. Like, now that I was talking about it, I was like, damn, I'm 53 now. And now that I'm 53, I'm like, damn, I was an ill 20-year-old. Because I got 20-year-olds. I got 30-year-olds. I'm like, damn, when I was your age, I was already $1 million in debt and taxes. You know what I mean? I had, got past a social class from the 99 to the 1 on my own without folding. But then once I got there, I was like, y'all think I'm gonna still use your money? I'm out of here. And I'm gonna do it myself. I'll do it with my hands tied before I use your corny money. You have to, compromise my integrity. And y'all can, like, whoever, like, you see how quiet everybody is? Whoever was up in that house is quiet. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one knows. I know one thing. There's nothing that I've done that I feel that can come out that's going to really make me feel compromised. I ain't worried. Unless someone starts lying at AI, but other than that, I wasn't there. I was creating art, and I was helping culture, and I was having fun, and I wasn't on no weirdo shit, and still ain't.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? That's why I could come around, because I ain't got nothing to worry about.
That's right.
So the question was, why do I keep helping people? Because I could. Because I'm free. You know that dance I do? That's the freedom dance.
Yes, sir.
And it's a simple dance, but not many people can do it.
Yeah.
It's like a rhythm to it.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Not many people are free. Like today, I was singing today in front of all these kids, but really doing it.
Yes.
I can't sing. You can't tell me that.
That's right.
I can do whatever I want to do, as long as I do it.
Yes, sir.
So can anybody else. I ain't hurt nobody. So yeah.
Excellent. Okay, great. Honesty and transparency. I have another question. Speaking of you dancing, our brother, Minister Aziz, used to coach me when I was like in 8th grade, him and his son Jamie and all of us in football. And I saw him today, reminded me of my father. Super serious men. These were men who traveled the Honorable Missiles Far, kind of willing to 10 toes down. These are like real steppers. And then I saw him dancing with his grandson today, and it touched me. I said, this is the coach who used to yell at me if I didn't know how to do a sweep and how to hit a move. I was like, look at that, that's growth. It made me proud. And then I looked on the stage and saw you singing a rocket. I started texting my friend, y'all not gonna believe Dame Dash is in here singing with his children. How important is that for to see men, but primarily strong, stoic black men, to now be able to show another side with their children, and you singing and realize he's dancing. I mean, that's amazing.
That's what makes you a man. So until I saw that, I hadn't seen no real men. You know what I'm saying? So like, one of the reasons why, if you watch Honor Up, which is on American News, my OG Daniel, right? I call him OG. He's not my only OG. He's my favorite.
Yes, sir.
And one of the things that was the coolest thing when I was young that I saw him do, because he was known for being tough and all those things that come with it, was him walking across the street with his kids. They had their bucket hats on, he had his bucket hat on, and they were riding in their little motorcycles. He was walking all tough. And I was like, that's the illest, that's the coolest. It's just being a dad and really taking care of your kids and keeping your kids fresh. And it's funny because my son, for some reason, he only wears that bucket hat. You know what I mean? That's what you see. It look cool to you.
Yes, sir.
See, those are the visuals that they don't want us to see. That's why we haven't seen them. That's why they don't even contrive that for television.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You understand what I'm saying? Like we'll get it once a decade. Pause, like the Cosby Show, barely.
Yes, sir.
But it still won't be. It'll be a doctor, but it won't be somebody that plays like football or that can be about that action or
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because that's when that's all a real step for is his family.
Yes, sir.
You tough for some other dudes, that don't make no sense. You're tough for the people you love.
Yes, sir.
Right.
That's the only reason that we on this planet as men is to protect the women that we love. We got testosterone.
Yes, sir.
You know, but we definitely ain't gonna be, not taking care of our kids. That's the least of a man, the least mannish thing to do. You're not a man if you don't take care of your children.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Powerful. Thank y'all for watching. Dr. Ali. First of all, I want to thank everybody who's in this room. Shout out to the People's Podcast, because this is going to be going live, uploading on YouTube. Everybody's going to be putting all these hearts and thumbs up because they're seeing that, where this dreams come true.
YouTube.
Oh, right here, right there.
Oh. That's it. I didn't know. That's why I was like, just in case. See, just in case you don't have sound, I do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I got it right there.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, see, you didn't see that? It was right there.
Okay. Now, Dr. Man Ali, I wanted to ask you for the young generation of entrepreneurs, and you keep talking about the spirituality and the currency, because it seems like we've been taught that you had to be like you have to do something crooked in order to come up. And but you're a very spiritual person, you keep talking about spirituality. What advice would you give to people on keeping their morals intact as well as pursuing their dreams?
Get ready to work hard.
And you might be broke for a minute. No, just joking.
But you're still gonna be richer if you have
But you're gonna be rich. That's right.
You'll be paper broke, which is what was planned here. But like I said, if you did like my birthday, and I don't mean to cut you off. But I just did. I just had my birthday,
Yes.
right? And this year, as far as making cash, was probably the least profitable year for me. During COVID, it was crazy. It was a great year, you know. But sometimes there's years of investment, sometimes there's years of spending money. This was a year of grinding. But all my dreams came true. I live on a lake with my girl. My son's going to school. I've been able to give him stability. My girl has a business. We launched our boutique television network. Thank you. Get this out of here. You know, I'm finally living.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what it is? Like I had 4 other children. Some of them are adults. It's like when you stop calling them children. And I wasn't able on any birthday to usually see them. And that broke my heart. Every birthday, every holiday, every time I was supposed to be really happy, it was a little not happy because I wasn't with the people I loved the most.
Yes, sir.
So I finally could celebrate with my children and my girl, and we were happy, and we got a boutique label, and it's not about the radio, it's about the show, and we making kids and all these other things. So to me, I'm like telling her, I'm like, yo, we sitting on the lake, I ain't got nothing to be mad about. So you know what I don't like about banks, and why I don't like having money, because you could have money, they could just feel like investigating you for no reason and freeze your account. So we got some money in the business account, and they're doing an investigation, and they shut our shit down for like 30 days. So I'm calling them, still shut down, because I'm like, yo, because they got to call a bank, I'm like, what about like, because they're not used to us getting no money. So I'm like, what about the damage you're causing because of investigation on innocent people? And they keep doing that. That's why they're like, I ain't holding no money, because they always messing with it. I hate the bank for that. But my point was, with that said, I didn't care. I still don't care. It's still locked. I still don't care, because I got my family. We laughing every day, you know. I got the life that I want. Having money in the bank but not being happy is broke.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It really is. Even, you know, having money in the bank and not knowing where you're going to live next week, or not having a stable life, or not, you know what, like I'm a time traveler, so I like to rewind and fast forward a lot. So if I rewind to like 4 years ago, we was crying because we had just lost a baby after 7 months. Now I fast forward, look at us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When we lost the baby, that was one of our best financial years. But we were miserable. You understand? I mean, we went to Hawaii, bought an S63. Wasn't bad to deal with it, but still, it was like, yo, I would have gave up every dollar to have him.
Yes, sir.
So this is the ultimate wealth, is this family. And being happy, and, you know, finding a girl you can hang out with every day. You know, I had baby mothers. I didn't have a wife. You know what I mean? And, you know, I'm young. You know, I'm not going to say I was with the women for the right reasons, but either way, I made my children, but I miss so much.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That just watching them grow every second, I can't believe I had to miss this with my other kids. And I feel sorry that but they knew I loved them, they knew I missed them, and their mothers knew how much it hurt me. They got that. But I got this now.
Good.
So I'm rolling.
Okay, I want to stay right there. No, she was there.
Okay, good.
That's what you said. Everything you said.
Okay, I want to stay right there. For the men who, you know, popping in, everybody outside, and we don't know, what advice would you give to single men on when it's time to come on home and make the right decision?
You're not going to get a queen to until you become a king. And you're not a king until you know how to be a slave for a queen. So a woman is the only, they create life. So that's God to me. I'm not going to, get into that. Women create life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And our job is to make sure they can create life and be happy and be sensitive. They shouldn't have to be and do the job of someone that has more testosterone than them. Come on. You know what I mean? So like, but the point is, if you're a young man, you have to visualize what it looks like when you have the woman of your dream. You don't want her to have to work. You're not going Dutch. You're gonna create her dream. Like her dream was to have a book, she got one.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Her dream was for me to be her assistant. So I could be standing and now I'm her assistant. I'm coming to her show. That was her dream, for me to work for her. And it's come true. You know, and to me, like, unless you can provide that, unless you know how to make a woman's dream come true, you ain't ready for one. And if you're still looking for your mommy to take care of you, because that's what a lot of so-called, males do, they're looking for a mommy. Nah, a woman's looking for a king.
Yes, sir. Okay, I have another follow. Thank you all. This is great. I have another follow-up question for you. A lot of my friends and homies, when I told them I was going to interview you, they said they were going to do a count on how many times you said pause. Right now, when you see that something that you created, like that culture, like Harlem and all of that, has reached all around the world, how does that make you feel that that all these years later, people are still saying it on ESPN Sports? I mean, everywhere people say pause now. It's like all these years later, how do you feel that you did that?
I'm used to it. So, you gotta remember, I made it like Fresh to Death, Pop Tags.
Yes,
I gave Jay the name Over, Hip Hop, all of that. So even now, like a lot of, the only thing I'm mad about with that, it was meant to be a secret amongst my crew. But it's funny because I'll be doing a speech to the kids, I'll say pause, and they'll be laughing like, oh, he's hip. And I'm like, yes, I did. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not a humble guy in that way.
Yes, sir.
I believe in we make records about it, affirmations all day. You're supposed to tell yourself you're great, but then they try to teach us if we tell ourselves we're great, we're conceited, and they just want to keep us. Yes, sir. You know what I mean? So honestly, since I've been a kid. Since I knew my name was Dame Dash, I've had high expectations of myself. I'm a little behind schedule for me. You know what I mean? And the reason why is because when I first approached the game, I didn't understand that really having other people fund my stuff would really compromise the integrity of what I was doing. Even down to the backstage tour. That was me that asked for the FOR. That was me. And I'm the one that put that tour together. They told me, like when Jay first sold some records, they were like, yo, you gotta go over Drew Hill. And I'm like, why do we have to go over Drew Hill? And they were like, because of the violence and so on and so forth. And they were like, I said, I'll wait till he sells a couple more million records. Then I went and got with the Rough Riders and DMX. It just so happened we were on the same league. But I knew the Rough Riders from the street. Those were my brothers. And then the violence, I just knew that we don't respect the only black people that respect black, we all respect the FOI. Nobody's messing with it. It's almost, just disrespectful to us. The rest was something, the only organization that represents this kind of unified power. Yes, whether you agree with anything or not, it still exists in a way that always made me proud. Always. So I knew that. But they told us we couldn't do that tour. And I was like, I'll route it myself. All I gotta do is click up with my crew and people I know, and we clicked up and we did it. And the reason why I documented it I documented it. So when I'm yelling at Kevin Loud, those are my cameras. I plant that. I used to let them mess up so I could make them a highlight clip.
Yes, sir.
I promise you. Even that other one when I was running up in there, like who set that meeting up? I knew about the meeting. I was like, they gonna really try to have me. Why do you think I had the cameras there? Those are my cameras. So I know how they're gonna make the hieroglyphics look if I let them draw them. I'm gonna make sure I go down in history looking good.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm gonna take the pictures.
That's right.
I'm gonna tell the stories. You ain't gonna have a network about me. I don't even want you to. I'll do it myself. You ain't gotta make a doc about me. I'll make a doc about me. And you have to have a certain amount of confidence to do that. To take over the world, to get in the ring and know you're gonna knock something out, and you fighting everybody.
Yes, sir.
You gotta know you're gonna win. I don't think I'm going to lose. I know I will.
Okay, great. We got just a few more questions for our brother. We won't take up all of this time, but I wanted to ask you, right now, something that's huge is being canceled. As an artist, you know, what you may say on social media, what you may say in person.
You only get canceled if you work with somebody.
Okay.
If that was the case, Donald Trump would have been canceled. If you're dependent on corporate money, yeah, you could get canceled. But you can't get canceled if you're funding yourself. They can't stop you from actually, because most of the time it'd be like public opinion, but people's core fans don't leave. You know, it's like with Tiffany Haddish. It's like, yo, people still think she's funny, but no one that's not from our culture is gonna hire her because they can't on certain levels. You know what I mean? But if you just focus on your core, the people that love you, just love the people that love you.
Yes, sir.
That's what you gotta do. But you gotta be in control of that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Thank you. I wanted to ask for everyone who was here who has an entrepreneurial spirit that is local in Jekyll Island, Brunswick, St. Simon, Sea Island. That's right, I know a few things. My dad was born out here, so I know a few things. You know what I'm saying? What advice would you give to them to do today moving forward in chasing and pursuing their dreams?
Well, this is my method. You don't have to smoke a joint. If I get a drink, smoke a joint. You know, whatever makes me comfy, and I just dream.
Yes, sir.
The perfect dream. See, usually what happens is that people that are scared to dream, that are with you, say, oh, that can't happen because of this, or you don't want to do that, and then it will stop you. The thing that you visualize last is usually what happens. So it has to be perfect, and if anyone's negative, get them away from you.
That's right.
Especially people that say the negative stuff first. It's like there's always things to watch out for, but why we gotta talk about that first? Because it can stop you from doing it. So it's, anyone I'm dreaming, you gotta be around people that like to dream.
Yes, sir.
They can't mess up my visuals. And again, I'm dreaming about doing things I love. So it's not about the money, it's about what I love to do. I love to make movies. I love to get fresh and make clothes. I love to laugh. I love everything I love, I make money off of, or at least that's what I've chosen to be my profession. Right now, you know, not right now, always it's my children, but I have access to them. The business is about my son. You know, the books and all the songs are about Dusko. We get to go perform them together.
It's beautiful.
Not just me and him, and his mom. And we all get to do our big one. We all get on stage and have our moment to shine. You know? So, what was the question?
What advice would you give to an entrepreneurial spirit?
You gotta, so after that, the big dream, then you have to be able to write it down. That's another dimension. If you can't write it down, then it's hard to express it to other people.
Yes, sir.
So you gotta write it down. And what I do is I start to look at the things I'm gonna buy when I make the money. So if there's a house, I start looking for the house, got a picture of it, if it's the boat, if it's the island, if it's the yacht, if it's the sneakers I'm gonna make, and I put it all, I wish I could show it to you, but I do what I call the vision board. And I get all the stuff that I'm gonna buy and then all the things and how much of it I have to sell to buy it. So if something costs $5 million, I know I have to, you know, do this many times to make this much bread from this many different ways, blah, blah, blah. And then I put it on my toilet in the toilet room, so every time I sit down, I look at it. So there's accountability. You know what I mean? Now somebody said if you're flushing, that might be symbolic. I don't put it on the toilet. I put it on the sink.
Yes, sir.
In the toilet room. Not the other sink, but the toilet room sink.
Yes, sir.
So that's my plan. And then
what I do is I also make an octopus, right? So if I know what I love, you know, I make a circle. So let's say it's the dash group. And then I have 8 octopus legs. I call it the octopus.
Yes, sir.
So off of anything that you do, it should definitely be 8 ways that you could make money with it. And the center should drive it. So there'll be a doc, there'll be a book, there'll be music, there'll be fashion, there'll be philanthropy, there'll be art, all the different ways I'll make money from that one thing. And you know, if one thing doesn't work, you cut that leg off and it grows back. The thing about octopuses is they have 8 brains for every, a brain for every leg. So until I can get a brain for every leg, I got a lot of work to do, but then I get a brain for every leg. And then I make a table of content. I take all the legs, list them out, and then there's like a chapter for each thing on the table of content. So if it's the music, this is what I gotta do for the music. If it's the fashion, this is what I gotta do for the fashion. But there's nothing that I make, like for example, each one, so here, check it. They're all in a band, but each one of them have their own solo project. So that way when they're all playing, they could all, that's why each one of them did a solo. Kids, they have kids and adults. So it's so that we can perform in the daytime. If we was gully with it, we would have had a show booked for the night. We did the nighttime show. You know, that's our thing, day, night. We hustle the block clicks all night. And whenever one of them does a show, they all can perform, but they're all helping each other. You know?
Yes, sir.
And with each project, there's a clothing line that comes with it. There's art that comes with it. There's touring that comes with it. There's a TV show that comes with it. There's a doc that comes with it. You know what I mean? There should always be like 8 or 9 different ways to make money off of the one thing that drives or that makes you the happiest. There's all these different verticals. See me, I see things in different dimensions and in different, like I see things in fashion. I see things, you know, what does it smell like? What is balls? What does it feel like? What's the texture? Like I love that, I'm a creative guy. You know what I mean? So every vertical, you can make money and have fun. You know, again, what do I love to do the most? I really love making movies. I really love making music. They can tell you, like we made 10 albums in like 2 months, right? All live instruments and broadcasted it live. And I ain't making $1. It's all because I love it. I just love music. I love art. And I'm the type of guy, I'm not a hater. So the way I met this group was she had a show and she was supposed to be headlining. He comes with his band, his 7 instruments, and he's playing for 50 minutes. Now, generally I'd have been pissed. I'd have pulled the plug. But because it was so good, I'm like, number 1, let him play. But number 2, I'll meet y'all in the studio. We got work to do. And you know, cause I didn't know I was gonna find this kind of talent in Winter Haven, in Polk. Not Polk, in Polk County.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But because it's happened, I made like, you know, and then we go on tour, and then like we find other people, and all of a sudden I got a whole label for no reason. But honestly, you know, in between trying to buy television networks and create this mega stuff, to me, this is what keeps me cool. This is what keeps me happy. Like I know I like making music, and then I jump on. I got projects. So that's another thing. I'll battle you in any vertical you want. So right now I'm in a battle with one of the filmmakers that I distribute, but I also direct the movie. So my movie against your movie, and my album against your album. Cause I got an album. My clothing line against your clothing line.
Yes, sir.
You know, I'm not gonna tell you to get out there and do something. I'm active. You know, and because I'm 53, you shouldn't have more energy than me. But I don't think nobody's having as more fun as I'm having. Fighting these punks. You know, beating these dudes publicly paws for years. I've been punishing them for years. They think, it's a funny thing, they think they're punishing me, and I've been punking them for years. They can make any narrative they want. And ain't never been a year I didn't live in a big house. And that my office wasn't bigger than any office they got. I don't even do offices, I do buildings. Do you know what I mean? Like I've had art galleries all around the world they don't talk about. In Tribeca, in Charleston, on King Street, in China. And the receipts go to American News, you can see it all. So this is why I don't have to believe what they say. I'm like, because I'm doing it my way, y'all want to make me look a certain way. Because I walked away from y'all and I could laugh at y'all, and y'all girls like me. And that's what happens. You know? We be having too much fun. And yes, when we're free and we do what we want, we bring our children.
Yes, sir.
We give curriculum. I could drink and talk. You know, we can have this kind of fun.
Yes, sir.
And still be productive. that I'm a functioning Buddha head, and that's dangerous. Because that means I'm always having fun. Too much fun.
Yes,
But yeah,
sir.
it's about having fun.
Excellent.
Y'all be thinking I'd be mad, and I'm like, that would show me mad. Like, when you in the ring, you're not fighting with a smile on your face. Football players ain't smiling. I'm in the game. I'm not playing with you when you in front of me. Pause. I got you. We gonna get at. But on the off time, you see what we do? We dance and play, and you just never. He been doing that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He just never let you see it because you never, it wasn't that environment.
Yes, sir.
But now we doing stuff with our kids. I bet you 20 years ago, you never thought I'd be singing. And you'd be up there, y'all know. See, now they don't even need to hold me down. They're like, we got school. It's like the Secret Services out there, but it's school. Now, it's not as crazy. You go from a jail to a school.
Right.
You never know when it's going to get, it goes from like peaceful, but I'll get right back in the war in a minute and love it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
It was so crazy to me that when we were at the jail, my girl wasn't nervous or her. They're just used to it. They literally locked us in the jail while my son was in the car. And they were cool. And we documented it. I'm like, y'all just really used to this. I'm sorry. I have to send it to her. They just used the war, but it's a good war. It's a fun war. I ain't doing nothing reckless. You know what I mean?
Excellent. Let's give our panelists another round.